Hey peeps, how's it going? I realized I shot this whole course and I was showing you HTML and I was showing you all these uh, techie things, and I didn't even have the courtesy to show you FTP. Alright, FTP, I've been listening to Martin Garrix, as you can see. Lots of house music, but I'll exit out of that for now. Uh, FTP, let's go to checkout. Oops, this is not the right site. I have a habit of doing that. I still haven't told you what FTP means. You probably already know what it means. In this time I've been blabbling, could have looked it up yourself. No, FTP means File Transfer Protocol, and it's a complicated jargon for this is how you get your files from your desktop onto the internet. Okay, it's basically like a conduit, a little go-between, kind of like if you use Dropbox. It's kind of similar to what FTP is. Oh my gosh, dang phone. I'm sorry. Anyway, FTP. My favorite thing to use is FileZilla. This is all I've used for, so I can't really call it my favorite because favorite kind of suggests that I've tried other ones. This is the only one I use. And it's because it does great. It has everything I need, and as far as FTP goes, you don't really need to know a whole lot to do what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to just show you around, a little explain what FTP is, give you a little bit better idea for kind of how to use it. So when you first open it up, you're probably going to get something like this, and you'll be like, what the heck do I do? Well, if you're on a Mac, you can hit Command S. If you're on a PC, you can hit Control S, and it brings up the websites that you can connect to. Now, you won't have anything inside of here. This will be completely empty, okay? But what you want to do is hit New Site, okay? And it'll bring up this little thing in here. You want to just title your site, all right? Usually, when you're connecting to your website, your hosting sent you an email saying, hey, here's your information. This is your login for your cPanel. This is the username and the password. You want those things. You need those things. In case you couldn't hear that over my knuckle cracking, you want those things and you need those things. Okay. Usually when you're connecting via FTP to a website, it's just ftp.yourwebsitedomain.com or .net or .org or .tv or .me or .info. You get the idea. Once you're done with that, you want to change this logon type to normal. Change your username and password to your website's cPanel username and password. And once you've done that, you can connect. So let's connect to my blog, okay, Lone Viking. Once you connect, you'll notice a very confusing looking bunch of file names and folder names and file names over here on the right column. And on the left column, you'll see even more, but these might look a little bit familiar. They'll look like, hey, these files are on my computer. And sooner or later, you'll start to put it together that all the files on this side are the files on your website. And all the files on this side, on the left, are the files from your computer. So how do we get files from your computer into the files on your website? Well, there's a couple ways. You can select them in here and navigate through this confusing GUI, or you can just open up your own file finder thing. I think on Microsoft it's called I think it's just called Explorer. I know that the Internet Explorer is there, but like there's also the File Explorer or something. I don't know. You know what it is, you PC people. I usually just use my PC for day trading. That's about it. But yeah, so on a Mac, you can just open up your Finder window. PC has something similar. And find the files that you want to drop into your website. Now, first, before we do that, you need to learn about something called public_HTML, and that's right here. All these other files and folders, basically every one that I'm highlighting, these are not you probably won't be working inside of those. There's like a 99% chance that you won't have to work inside of them almost ever. I'm going to reduce that to 89% or 90% because sometimes you end up having to do random things. But for Epic Win CPA and what I teach you, you won't have to deal with any of those. The only place you're going to be doing business in is the public_HTML folder. So double click on that to get inside, and you'll see, if you're using WordPress, you'll see a WordPress install. If you're not, you'll see this file right here, this CGI bin, and all these highlighted folders will be gone. It'll just say CGI bin. So basically, the way websites, internal website structures work are, let's open up my node here, and let's see here. Let me just make a new one actually. This is so you guys can see kind of like a visual representation of websites. Now, you know about the root domain. A root domain is basically, let's use Google for an example, or even my blog. Okay, so loneviking.com. That's a root domain. Now, sometimes you go on a website and you see loneviking.com/blog, or sometimes you even see loneviking.com/blog/ this is what a post looks like, right? And then sometimes you'll have something like that. It gets confusing, right? It becomes long. So what's the difference between this root URL, this one, and this one? Well, these are actually more similar to each other than this one is to either of these. And I'll show you why. Loneviking.com is the root domain. It's the root file structure, and it basically represents everything you see inside the public HTML directory. Okay. Now, once you click inside of that public HTML, once you click inside of that, you'll be greeted with lots and lots of new nodes. Or in other words, you'll be greeted with lots of new files, okay? Lots of files that lead to other places. Now, some of these files have more files within them. Some of them only have one. Some of them are just files and there's nothing inside of them. But you kind of understand what I mean. Now, this is basically a complicated breakdown of these two guys. So check this out. Loneviking.com, okay, we have that. That's the root domain and represents public HTML and everything inside of it. Now, what if there's a folder called blog? Well, now check it out. When we go to loneviking.com/blog, we'll be greeted with everything inside of this folder. So anything that is listed in the blog directory, or not everything, but basically as long as there's an index.html file inside of it, it will pull most of the content from that directory. Now, sometimes you'll have other pages like about, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense so far? So when you're navigating inside of your public HTML folder, realize that that's the structure. So if we were going to go to my website, loneviking.com/WP content, well, first of all, that directory would be hidden. But check this out. To make a new directory, you right-click and hit Create Directory. We're going to call this one Squeeze Pages. Okay, because I'm teaching you how to upload your Squeeze Pages. You're done for your Squeeze Pages to the interwebs, and I'm using the OTO2 Squeeze Pages as an example because there are many of them. There's 9 of them actually that you can pick and choose from, and these I feel like will be a good chance to show you how this works. So we're inside FTP. You know about file structure and website databases, and you know how folders work and subdirectories. So if we were going to go to loneviking.com/squeeze pages, there'd be nothing there, right? Because we just created that directory. Oops, close that. So we go inside of it and there's nothing there, right? Now what happens if I take the squeeze pages, let's call this SPs actually, just for now. I'll rename it back so you don't get confused inside the course. But let's see here. Let's make this simple actually. I'm gonna change that back to, I don't know what just happened. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got a little bit distracted there. I pushed some wrong buttons and my computer was like, hey dude, check this out. Anyway, so let's take squeeze 1, okay, and make a new directory in here. And this is from the niche bizop. So we'll call this bizop1. Okay, so now we have a folder, and this is where we want to put our squeeze page. Now check this out. If we go, so loneviking.com, now check this out. If we refresh this page, it looks the same, but there's one more thing in it. Now, when you have an unprotected directory like this, it's not good because people can access your site directly and like look through all your files. But I'll show you how to fix that. It's really easy. You just upload a blank index.html file into this directory. So inside the squeeze pages folder, you would place an index.html file that was completely empty. Like there doesn't have to be any code on it. And it'll just be a big blank white page, okay? But anyway, if we go to squeeze pages /bizop1, we're greeted with the first squeeze page for the OTO2 owners. So we have bizop, oh sweet, my mouse has been giving me issues, so I don't know what's going on with it. I just put new batteries and you know how technical stuff, Anyway, so this was like a quick demonstration on how to upload your squeeze pages. So let's do that again just to like kind of ensure that you got it down. Now let's make a bizop2. Actually, let's take an example from the health ones that we've got. So we've got health and squeeze pages. Let's do the skinny one. This is the squeeze page for skinny guys like myself. And we got that on there. Now we do health one. And where's the image? It's probably still uploading actually. Yeah, it's still uploading. I got some hardcore, like, that was not a good way to start that sentence. I got some really intense, high resolution images in here for you, and that's what's taking so long to upload. But it won't be long. It won't be long. Okay, I think we might have it. No, it doesn't look like it's gonna do it. Oh, there it is. I'll try to actually make this image smaller for you guys so that load times don't end up killing your opt-in rate. But anyway, this is another example for how to upload your squeeze pages. Now you've got bizop1 and health1, and you can do this all day long if you want. You can put more folders and subdirectories inside of these folders. It's like a giant MLM on the internet made up of files. Anyway, now I want to show you really quick, follow along with me here, how to kind of semi-protect your directories. So we're going to make a new file. Okay, just open up Notepad if you're on a PC, or TextEdit if you're on a Mac. I had to actually look at that. Yes, you did see that. You can put any message in here if you'd like, and it'll show up on your index page once it's pulled. So if we save this as index.html and plug it in, I'm going to give it to this place, and I'm also going to give it to index.html. Also going to put it in here so that everyone can use it. Okay. I know you love me. No, I'm just kidding. I do not care about that. Now, if you remember where I put those things, we're going to open up FileZilla again. So we're back in here. We need to protect some directories, man, because we have this squeeze pages directory that's all out in the open and stuff. So we're going to go back and grab that index file that we just created that was completely empty except for a few words. And now we're going to see what that directory looks like on my website. Look at that. Now this is a little something that happens when you don't properly format code. And usually this can be fixed with a slash. And sometimes it can't. It really depends on the coding language you're using, but for simplicity purposes, let's fix that. Or actually, if you want, again with the ADD, I'm gonna redo that. And see, it's really easy to upload your images to the web. Oh, look what I did. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, you know why? Are you sure you want to modify the document in place? Overwrite. Yes, I'm sure. I'm just gonna do that, man. Just gonna do that. Index. But we want index.html. Mac, okay, Apple, can I just rant real quick? Apple has changed their text edit program and they've just completely like complicated it. It used to be so cool. You could switch between plain text and rich text formatting by hitting Shift-Command-T and it wouldn't ever change back. But now, whenever I save HTML files on a Mac, they automatically revert back to rich text formatting if I open them, if I like reopen them inside of TextEdit. Watch. See that? It just reverted to rich text. Now if I save it, okay, it didn't seem to do anything that time. Oh, thanks for proving my point. Dang it. Never mind. But see, there you go. We just re-uploaded it without text, and this is what it looks like. So that's how to protect your directories. This video went on a little bit longer. I know I'm long-winded, and I kind of go off on rabbit trails and sometimes get really ADD, but I hope you like this video. Oh, and a quick little tip for when you're editing your squeeze pages and stuff. We have these squeeze samples and squeeze templates. Basically what I do is I have a code editor called Text Wrangler. It's free. I don't know if I have it for PC, but so I have that going. I open up my index file with that program. Now all my code is right here, right? Now this is what I do. I take that same exact code file that I just opened up with Text Wrangler and I open it with a browser by dragging it onto the browser, and it'll display it exactly as you're going to see it. So say I make an edit on this page. Hold on. So say I make an edit on this page and change like the width, for example, to like 600 wide, and I refresh this page, it'll change the width to 600 wide. Now just to like give like a more obvious example, I'll take away the image in the background, hit save, and refresh this page, and it takes away the image from the background. Pretty cool, huh? So that's how I edit stuff on the fly, in case you were wondering. I realize I didn't go over that as well. But anyway, that is that on FTP. I hope you enjoyed, and enjoy the rest of the course. All right, so peace out. Thanks for watching.